Hi, everybody. Isn't it great to be together again? We so appreciate being able to gather, and thank you for being willing to come out and get to look around at one another and feel the beloveds that are here. And most of us know each other, maybe some people you don't know. And what we'd like to invite you to do is enjoy this presentation to you that's hopefully a reminder, just a reminder of who you are and why you're here. And then afterwards, here we are in the beautiful park and by nature, and so we invite you to hang out with each other and, keep the right social distancing and wear the masks, and of course, but talk to each other at the end and, share with each other what the time has meant to you, or if you have stories of survival from the fires, just hang out afterwards and have a good time communing with each other, okay? I want to start out by reminding you of who you are. Do you know that you are as unique as a snowflake? There's no other one of you. And that the infinite creator of all that is created you uniquely for some unique purpose on planet Earth right now. So there's no mistake. I don't think great creator of all that is makes mistakes, really, do you? You are beloved just as you are. Everything you've been through is part of your destiny path that you're here to bring through to an offering to help others. And we aren't alone. I think that's one reason why you might want to be together like this. Remind us that we're not alone, right? And I don't just mean not alone with each other that's sitting here, but we're truly not alone. There is a power and a spirit and a love at work in the universe and on planet Earth that, like Michael Beckwith says, is a presence and never an absence. A presence and never an absence. And we're also here together to do our spiritual practice together. Like in Buddhism, one of the paramitas says that we are here to build confidence in the all-pervasive goodness of the universe. Wow. We are here to build confidence amongst each other in the all-pervasive goodness of the universe. Well, I'll open with a prayer just to center us and ground us here. So you can close your eyes if you want and just feel yourself settling down and in. Take a deep breath and let your energy come down from your head and let your shoulders relax a little bit more. Feel your feet or your hips on the ground. Down and in. When we experience trauma, we go up and out. So it's really a good idea to just breathe and bring ourselves down and in. And Great Spirit, our beloved creator of the sky and the earth and the trees, the wind, the water, and the fires. We're here today because we need spiritual refreshment. We need to get together to see one another and feel the truth that love and faith and hope are alive. So come and be with us now. Open our hearts. Help us to feel our gratitude for just being alive. And help us to go down to the river to pray, and down to that fountain of life that's deep within our souls that never shall run dry, where we are refreshed over and over and over again. Come and be with us now. Help us to step into your presence and be flooded with these waters of refreshment. We bring our open hearts, our souls to be refreshed here today. come and be with us as we sing this wonderful old spiritual that's so familiar to us, Down to the River to Pray.
And I would love if you would sing with me. I'm not going to be using a mic today because we need to not have too much amplification, but let's be, a big choir together. I think almost everyone knows this song, Down to the River to Pray. And if you know harmony, that's beautiful too. Or you don't have to sing, you could just enjoy listening, but I do invite you to sing. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Sisters, oh sisters, let's go down, come on down. Oh sisters, let's go down to the river, or the creek. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Brothers, oh brothers, let's go down, come on down. Oh brothers, let's go down to the river and pray. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Fathers, oh fathers, let's go down, come on down. Oh fathers, let's go down to the river to pray. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Mothers, oh mothers, let's go down, come on down. Oh mothers, let's go down to the river to pray, down to the creek to pray, oh down to the river to pray.
All right, now you know the words. Stand up and let's get into it, okay? Let's feel it. Let's rise up and feel the energy of it, of this call that's going on. This need to be praying in these days, okay? You got the words, so let's sing it out. Here we go, Heather. One more time.
Oh, the whole thing?
Well, just parts of it.
Okay. Sisters and brothers.
Yeah, sisters and brothers. Just to feel it in your body.
As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Lord, show me the way. Sisters, oh sisters, let's go down, come on down. Oh sisters, let's go down to the river to pray. Brothers, down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh brothers, let's go down, oh let's go down, come on down. Oh brothers, let's go down to the down to
Thanks for doing it one more time. And look around now at each other and just be grateful for our community, and maybe put your hands together in a namaste and thank each other for being here and for being together on this earth right now. We're so grateful that you're all here. And Now we've got Sophia and Mia and Heather who are going to lead us. I don't know, they might have you stand up again. Do you want them to sit down, or is it okay for them to sit down now?
Let's keep standing.
Oh, keep standing, because we got a little movement just to feel the energy moving through your body. Let's see what they have in store for us.
As we walk among you today, I invite you all to drop down into your bodies and sway with me as a way of surrendering to the flow that happens when the weight of your body surrenders to the gravity of the earth. Yes. Let your arms go. Let your shoulders go. And this is just a way of getting into a flow. Let's take a deep breath together and drop down right into the center of your body. And even if you're sitting, just feel your spine and feel your tailbone. Can we all send our intelligence down into the tailbone? Use your tailbone to draw a little circle on the ground right underneath you as a way of grounding, rooting yourself, feeling your connection with the earth. Oh, let's inhale and exhale, and let's ground our beautiful feet. Even if you're sitting, go ahead and just roll your feet. Now you can roll through them, even if you're sitting. Even if you're sitting on the ground and you want to put your foot on the earth, feel those roots. All of those millions of nerve endings on the bottoms of your feet are like roots. So send them down into the ground right now. Feel the magnetism of Mother Earth. And if you feel this connection, look at this green beauty under our feet. And as you look, protect it. Protect this precious bounty with your heart. Inhale, exhale. And let's all join together in a breath, feeling the energy rising, expanding, and falling. Drawing earth current energy up the center and expanding out. This is the universal flow of energy. Everything that exists, the planet, these beautiful trees that are around us, this is how their energy moves. They bring energy up through their roots. It flows up their trunks. It spreads out through their branches and their leaves and their blooms and their fruits. So feel that with me. Feel the earth current energy rise. And with every circulation, it heals you. It blesses you. It cleanses you. Let's take a deep breath up. And here, open the curtains. Open the curtains. And now let's inhale up towards your higher self. And as you exhale, bring that higher self down into the vessel. Your sacred human body, your vessel. Inhale up, exhale. This is a great social distancing move. But you know what happens here? We're still connected. Between the palms of our hands are synapses. And even in this time of masks and distancing, we can still be connected through our gesture, through our breath, through our intent, through our love. Inhale, exhale, open those curtains, and up we go. Inhale, call your higher self in to the vessel and embody. Now I invite you to soften your knees wherever you are. Soften your jaw. Let your jaw go. There's a lot in the jaw. Inhale, exhale, let the head go. The weight of your head with the weight of your thoughts and the weight of your worries and all of the uncertainty of this year, let that go. And let that weight work on your neck. Moment to ask your neck what it's been holding on to. Maybe there's a word that's been stuck here that needs to be released. Let it go. Let's travel into the shoulders. How they want to move. And ask your shoulders what they've been shouldering. Let them talk to you about the burdens that this year, this time, great intensity has placed. Ask your shoulders. There's one thing you could shrug off right now. What would that be? Only you know the answer. And your shoulders can help you find that. And here's a great move. I've got a burden on my shoulders. I'm going to bear up 3 times. On the 4th time, I'm going to flick it off. You want to see how that works? I bear up. I bear up. I bear up, and finally, bah! Woohoo! That no longer belongs to me. It no longer belongs to you. And you know what? Your elbows are happy about that too. Because of this time of restrictions, this movement here helps you stretch out, make some more space for yourself in the universe. After unburdening yourself. Isn't that a nice feeling? I love hearing all the breaths. Let's breathe into the spine now. Into the spaces between your vertebrae. Spaciousness. Spaciousness. You can create it with your breath, with your movement. Thank your spine for holding you upright in a year where so many things have tried to knock you down. Let's hear it for the spine. Woo-hoo! Finally, inhale, exhale, and let's journey into the cauldron. There is no shame here. Ask your hips, ask your pelvis about the secrets they've been keeping from you. Ask it what it needs to let go of. And with a very purposeful out-breath, let it go. The blockages to your creativity, the sitting, the Zoom calls. Great. Let's drop further right? Isn't that right? And once again, your sacred feet. Bless your feet. Bless those sacred feet. And roll around again. Activate every single nerve ending. Oh, you can touch the ground with the other side. And with an intentional breath, take everything that you're letting go of, put it in an in-breath. Exhale, send it down into the ground through one of your feet. Inhale, and send it down. Yes. And then finally, let's come home. And I invite you to join me right here. This is a position of power. Who stands like this? Superheroes. Right? Readiness, connectedness, relaxed attention. Nothing is going to tip over or turn. Inhale, exhale, breathe into that reality. Have a look. Feel that beautiful connection. You with yourself, the earth, your community. Thank you all so much for participating. Thank you, Norma.
You may be seated. As you sit with this embodiedness that's been created, just going to take another moment to be in a quietness. We've been in the quietness alone quite a bit, or with just a few others. It's a precious thing to be in the quietness with the whole group. So let's go into a brief meditative moment here where you're breathing. And as we are in this outdoor space, what we can do with the sounds around us is just notice them and say, I'm noting the car starting, or I'm noting the bird, or noting the creek. Just note the sound and then bring your awareness back to your breathing. You can feel your breath coming in through your nostrils, over your top lip. Can you feel it that way? And then you can feel it as it makes your abdomen rise and fall. So be aware of your breath that way. Settle in, feel all the attention coming down and in, like we've been doing. And I'm going to ring the beautiful gong 3 times to take us into this moment of silence, and then I'll ring it to bring us out. So enjoy the beauty of our silence together. Here we go. When we go within like this, even just for a few moments, we remember that we know the way. We know the way. We know how to connect to the kingdom of heaven within. So set your intention for the rest of the time that we're together, that you connect more deeply right now, that you get reminded of something that you need to know, that you get healed in some way, that you came here hoping that you would, or that you be a channel of blessing to somebody that you know needs it right now. You know the way.
Know the way to God. You know the way to God. There is beauty everywhere, and so much light. Why fight it anymore? Let it go, let it in, and begin again, right now. You know the way to love. You know the way to love. You know the way to love. There is beauty everywhere, and so much light. Why fight it anymore? Let it go, let it in, and begin again, right now. You know the way to joy. Know the way to joy. Know the way to joy. There is beauty everywhere, so much light. Why fight it anymore? Let it go, let it in, and begin again. Let it go, let it in, and begin again. Let it go, let it in, and begin again, right now. That song is just a couple months old.
One of Heather's originals. Glad we're together again so we can appreciate your songs. And Richard. Well, I said we're coming down to the river to pray, so I want to pray more. I want to pray more with you. I want you to tune in right now to who you might want to pray for, what you might want to pray for. As you're thinking about that, I invite you to realize that we're not like beseeching God for something really. That we are just aligning ourselves with this flow of love and abundance and joy and healing and money and power and healing and money and power and abundance and joy and love. And all the things that we need are flowing. They're flowing like a waterfall. It's flowing down. And when we get together like this, we're just like stepping under the waterfalls. And feeling it and remembering that the flow is going on. And we're just aligning ourselves with it again. Today, I want you to hold this prayer in your heart as you step under the waterfalls. What is this prayer? Hold it in your heart as you step under the waterfalls. Feel the river flowing. Feel the tremendous power of the water flowing down through you, bringing to pass what your heart's desire is. I'm up here speaking the word to not only set you free from something, from fear or lack or limitation, but I also speak the word that you are free for something, free to reveal your next most creative nature, free, set free to bless others, to loosen up things that need to be loosened up on earth, to set them free as they're free in the heavens. I pray that the inner splendor within you be set free, that your life, however long it is, it's not about time or quantity, but about the quality of giving and of living our fullest lives possible. I pray that your one precious life will be ignited with freedom of the creative energy of spirit that's within you, and that anything that would hinder this is now dissolved back into the greater energy field, that the mask falls off, so to speak, and we are free to recognize who we are and who each other is, and we're here to help one another go about what needs to be done to bring planet Earth all the way through now. Everything is laid out in front of us, and we just have to walk step by step. It's really pretty simple. We've just got to align with the powers that be, lean into the everlasting arms, feel who we are. Would you be willing to tap between your eyebrows right now and give yourself permission to see with this eye, the consciousness of divine sight waking up, to see before your mind's eye what you are called to give? See yourself doing it without delay. Don't say, I'll do it later. This is the time. During this time, things need to flow rapidly now. We're moving into a time in January when everything's going to be in motion. We've had a deep, introspective, resting time, and we're moving into a time when things are going to be flowing. And we're going to be excitedly going about doing what we're each here to do. So breathe it in right now, this vision of you. You might not even know exactly what it is, but just vision you being in motion. Vision you being in the flow. Vision yourself being in community and bringing community together. Vision yourself healing others, being a tremendous channel of power and light, a beacon of light. Vision this happening. Yes, tap more if you want to. Remove any blockages, because this is coming. And I wanted to get us together just to remind each other that we're going through a dark tunnel, but it's short. It's short, really. It's not as long as they would have us believe. All the astrologers are saying we're coming on through in January. It's going to be intense, but we're coming on through to a new time and a new day. So Heather's going to sing us another song, and just be with this mounting energy in you about you opening your heart to who you are, to the vision of you united with spirit and united with one another as we open up in sweet surrender to this beautiful love light that's flowing through us. That's it.
So this is a chant that many of you have known for a while. It's the one that goes, we are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. And then we are opening. And I heard years back a verse, we are rising up like a phoenix from the fire. Brothers and sisters, spread your wings and fly higher. We are rising up like a phoenix from the fire. Brothers and sisters, spread your wings and fly higher. That felt really appropriate. I invite you to stand up again if you want, and maybe, feel those movements again that Sophia led us in. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel the energy through your feet. connecting with the earth. Maybe sway. Maybe inhale and exhale in that chorus again. Maybe walk, feeling the earth. And sing along if you wish. I'm so grateful that Asa joined us the last night. I think I texted him this morning. He said, sure, I'll bring my drum. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the world. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the world. We are open. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. Sing that verse again. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. Rising up. We are rising up like a phoenix from the fire. Brothers and sisters, spread your wings and fly high. We are rising up. Keep going. Like a phoenix from the fire. Brothers and sisters, spread your wings and fly high. We are rising up. We are rising up. We are rising up. We are rising. Let's do that one again. We are rising up like a phoenix from the fire. Brothers and sisters, spread your wings and fly high. We are rising up like a phoenix from the fire. Brothers and sisters, spread your wings and fly high. We are rising up. 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 Is it love so good?
Thank you so much, musicians. You may be seated. I appreciate your being here to listen and participate by your presence. And it's been a long time since I've spoken. And speaking is a gift that I have, like other people have singing or dancing or drumming or whatever all your gifts are. And so I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to think into some words that need to be said right now and to be willing to hear this gift that I bring forth. So, in difficult and catastrophic times like these, our spiritual practice keeps us in the mode of responding and not reacting. In front of a church in Talent that's all burnt down, I saw the sign still standing. We choose faith and not fear. That really got to me. We must choose, moment by moment, day by day, in spite of it all, because of it all. We make a choice as to what we perceive and therefore what we create. Choose. We get to choose to see a new order coming. Through the hardest times, we hold a vision that pulls us as the pain pushes us. Yes, the pain pushes us simultaneously as the vision pulls us. During the fire and the intense smoke, at first my thoughts were fearful and out of sorts. I could feel this downward spiral of negativity tugging me into fear. But I got up and I got tough with those fears. And I went to work on myself. And I began to think and then speak about the harmonizing prosperity that is on the rise. Those astrological forecasts, may they be true. And I got motivated to hold that focus and get in gear. I think we're here to develop a level of self-responsibility. So there's not time to waste our energy worrying or blaming anyone. Don't you think it's time to be done with blame? Once and for all, lay aside that old defense mechanism. We humans don't need it anymore. But we've got to work at it. I work at it all the time. The blame-shame game, though, has got to be over. Instead, we've got to use our precious life energy to transmute fear and loss into birthing new life. We use our energy to step out of the smoky cloud of confusion and doubt into action, doing what we can to help one another. That's what we're experiencing going on here in this valley. In the midst of great loss, we are giving the world great hope. Aubrey was telling me yesterday that she got the Talent Arts Council inspired right before the fires even happened to make these banners that are now hung across one of the buildings that survived, to give messages of resilience and hope to the community. And in fact, one of the banners gives us this definition of hope. H is for honesty. O is for optimism. P is for passion. E is for energy. Can you say that with me? H is for honesty. O is for optimism. P is for passion. And E is for energy. We are a people of hope because we see through the rubble to what is happening. And we are continually amazed at so much love and light right here in the midst of it all. I don't know about you, but I'm no longer available to be enslaved or ensnared by circumstances and situations. We are responding, not reacting. We are responding with optimism. Have you seen those signs, "We will build up again," when all the houses are burned down? Have you seen that sign, "Talent is strong," or "Phoenix will rise"? People are putting these signs up all over the place because we are responding with passion. We are responding with energy. So much good work is going on to help each other. The way we're able to have hope is because we are grounded in years of our spiritual practices. We've been getting ready for this by doing our meditative and prayer practices, our shadow work, our weaving of thoughts together in a fabric of love that's so strong. We know how to ground ourselves and stay focused, and we set our intent on healing, and we ask for guidance about what we can do, and then we go about doing it. That's who we are. That's who you are. These times require us to be both tender and tough. Don't you know? We've got to be extremely tender. Yesterday when I went to the depot where All the people are coming whose houses have burned down, and the things are being given away, and people are receiving. As I looked into their eyes, my eyes just started tearing up, and my heart cracked open as I heard the stories of loss and survival. Then at the same time, I realized we've got to be extremely tough, because we've got to fight with all our might for life to go on, and for love to be felt, and to bring justice to everybody. As we move into this idea of tender and tough, we have to admit that, yes, these are pretty anxiety-producing times. And yet, where we put our focus matters. Black theologian Howard Thurman said, "When dreams crash down all around us, humans focus on the birth of a child. This is the growing edge incarnate. Look well to the growing edge." When we came here to earth, we agreed to look well to the growing edge. We made a rise and shine agreement. You know what I mean? Before you took on this human incarnation, you made an agreement that you would rise and shine through all the changes and transformations that would be happening on the planet while you're here. You will rise. You will raise your vibrational frequency. You're both a vibrational being, and you're carrying the genetic codes of your ancestors. You are a being that has a bit of unique information or a particular idea that begins to outpicture itself planted in the soil, and the invisible becomes visible, like a rose that comes into bloom when it's planted in certain soil. The soil you are planted in, Ashland, Talent, Phoenix, Medford, is the right soil. And you are the seed of your own perceptions and what you believe is possible. You lift the spiritual vibratory level of your ancestry to the next level. You're here to evolve humanity. You're here to grow spiritually, your lineage, so that the spiritual truths become flesh of your flesh and bone of your bone. So this density will never prevent your immensity. Do you like that? Say that with me. This density will never prevent my immensity. This density will never prevent my immensity. You are here to raise in spiritual frequency even when things look really bleak. Shining means sharing, radiating, giving. We want to rise then. We want to shine, that these talents and gifts that only you can bring about. No one else can be exactly what you can be. You are here to discover how you're to give now. What is it that Spirit is asking of you now? Ein, the word in the Sanskrit that means giving a gift, is also the word for being human. So us humans are here to give gifts. The other day I met Yahima, a 23-year-old Latinx woman who realized how she was here to rise and shine. Nisha and I were privileged to interview her for a documentary film that we're making about hope rising through the ashes. She spoke so eloquently about how she realized that she was born for these times because she grew up as a bridge person between the Hispanic community and the Anglo community right here. She was the one to make this bridge happen right now. So she went and talked to her father, who owns El Tapatio, and they started giving the food at first, and then inviting other people to bring all of the goods and services that needed to be brought. And she made this bridge between the Anglo and Hispanic community that I've been wanting to be there for such a long time, and now it's there more fully than ever. And people are getting to know each other, and a tremendous healing and good is coming out of this because Yahima realized what she was to do for these times. You are a contributor too. You are a participant in the cosmic unfolding here on planet Earth. So ask daily, how am I supposed to contribute? Even if you're confined in your house, you can be an intercessory prayer warrior. Like I had an old aunt who was in a nursing home, and when I'd go to see her, she'd say, look at these letters that I got from all over the world. These are people I'm praying for. I just sit here praying every day, and then they're writing to me about miracles that are happening in their lives. So this is what we can do. There's no limitation. There's no limitation. We've got to allow the pressure to increase the measure of what we are and what we are becoming. There's a lot of pressure on us now. The pandemic has slowed us all down and drew us into this vast quietude. Before the shutdown, we were under so much pressure of a different kind, right? To run around and practice our pseudo-freedom and get distracted from issues inside of ourselves. The pressure was so intense to run around all the time, you couldn't even hardly look at yourself. But now, the pressures are a little different. The false sense of safety and running around has ceased. The pressure's different. Humans want to stay alive now, not get the disease. And now the pressures of climate change are compounding it with the fires and the winds and the seas rising. But we don't want to contract around the pressure. We want the pressure to increase all that we are intrinsically as a spiritual being. When we say spiritual, I mean eternal. Spirit is eternal. You've got spirit in you. You are eternal. You are eternal, and you have these eternal qualities of love and harmony and joy and abundance. This is who we are. Our spiritual practices are meant to tune us into the fact that we have this divine, eternal essence within us. We are vast, cosmic, and infinite, and we choose to put on this earth suit when we come here. Nowadays, we could compare it to putting on VR goggles, virtual reality goggles, and you go into another world, and while you're in that world, you think it's so real, but then you take them off, and then you're your bigger self again. It's a lot like it is coming to planet Earth. While we're here in form, it's a very precious opportunity, and we've got to take our divine essence seriously. And we've got to reset on a regular basis so that we can remember who we are. In the midst of the swirling circumstances of the world, we're not to be a reactor to circumstances. We're here to be resonating with this eternal source inside of ourselves. All the trauma reactions, like the drama and fear and fighting and fleeing that humans often get into, don't really accomplish very much. They drain our energy. So some of us humans need not to be slaves anymore to that drama and that trauma and that reaction. It's a lower vibrational mindset. What happens instead when we align with our soul's destiny, you pull from the infinite instead of thoughts that cloud your mind with reaction. It reminds me of one of my favorite stories from C.S. Lewis. He wrote the Chronicles of Narnia. And the favorite book out of those for me is The Last Battle. And we find out toward the end of the book that the battles are raging all around the children, who, by the way, are really the kings and the queens. Wink, wink. Who are you? And they are huddled in a cave, surrounded by dwarfs, and are wondering how they will survive, how they'll ever emerge from this dire situation. And one of the children is way back in the cave. She was an introvert, wanted to get away from everybody a little bit, and she was leaning back there in the cave, trying to take some breaths, and she leaned back up against the wall, and it started to move and shift. And she turned around and pressed on it, and lo and behold, do you remember what happened? A door opened up. A door opened up. And she pushed the door open, and she peered through, and there was a whole other world there. And it was bright and shining and full of radiance. And she, bodhisattva that she was, ran back from the door and went to tell the others in the front of the cave. And she said, "Come on, follow me. There's really another reality. There really isn't. It's right here." But some of the dwarfs wouldn't budge. They said, "You're deluded. The battle's raging and we're going to fight it until it's over." And she said, No, come on, see what's emerging over here. No, we're afraid, and this is the end. We're staying here and fighting. And they refused to look. They refused to follow her to see the bright doorway, and they clung to their blindness. C.S. Lewis said, they have chosen cunning instead of belief. Their prison is only in their minds, yet they are in that prison, and so afraid of being taken in that they cannot be taken out. Does that remind you of our times? So sad, the prison was only in their minds. Do you realize that most of the fear that we have is not our fear? It's this fear thought form in the World Channel. We can have great compassion for the dwarf selves in us and the dwarf people around us that are so afraid of losing our bodies prematurely or at all. But we can remember that we are the royal children of Narnia and say, this fear isn't mine. This world's fear is not mine. But we can look closely at it through meditation and prayer and see that the fear is a lie. Every fear has a lie underneath of it. If you individualize it and pick it apart, it's just a lie. A lie about loss of the body or fear of death. Fear not. Great Master Jesus said, no death, no fear, Thich Nhat Hanh says. So in the meta-awareness, we never lose anything. Energy is never lost or gained. It is just transmuted. Nothing is ever lost in this whole universe. Analyze this, and you see love is never an absence, but a constant flowing presence. Love is stronger than death. So let's stop being afraid, okay? Let's just stop it in its tracks, because our true security is lockstep with the oneness of the presence of love. Blame and shame don't protect us. It's not what we're about. They are emanations for ego perceptions that keep us small and not large. Say to fear, this isn't mine. This doesn't belong to me. It's a lie. And it just creates tributaries of fear and compulsive behaviors and anxiousness. When people get afraid, they're not really living. They're shutting down to living. It actually prevents us from seeing the possibilities of life that are right before us. And we want to be those ones that are committed to our agreement. What is our agreement that we made before we came here? To rise and shine, to rise and shine. And to be tender and tough. Because you know what? The universe is always emerging into more and more life. That is the truth. That's the truth. And the kingdom of heaven is within you. We are the lightning rods of the divine blueprint of the earth. The earth has a divine blueprint that it's moving toward, but it can only come about as we participate in being the architects of that blueprint. So we're getting ready here for a whole new blueprint on earth. And I've had dreams about this and seen it over and over, that there's like this alignment going on, that we're moving into the right mindset and shape inside of us. And I'll just set this down for a minute to show you with hands. Like, I've seen this picture of us rising up and shining in this truth of who we are in individual and small communities all over the planet, and that there's this light that's coming down from the heavens to meet up, and that it goes click, click into place, and the whole thing shifts. Have you been feeling that? Have you been feeling that that's where we're headed? A lot of spiritual teachers through the ages have been talking about this. C.S. Lewis showed us in the last battle a vision of this. The great lion Aslan was speaking to them, and Aslan said, "Spiritual warrior, children of Narnia, you must accept the noble death of it all. Let go." But then it goes on, because the new world is also emerging. And as he spoke, he no longer looked to them like a lion. But the things that began to happen after that were so great and beautiful that I can't really write them. And for us, this is the end of all the stories. So sometimes we get afraid, but we can most truly say that we will all live happily ever after. For the children of Narnia, it was only the beginning of the real story. All their life in this world and all their adventures in Narnia had only been the cover and the title page. And now we are beginning chapter 1 of the great story, which is one that no one on earth has ever read, which goes on forever, in which every chapter is better than the one before. They now perceived with their eyes wide open, and they looked around in this new land, and every rock and flower and blade of grass meant more than it did before. Are you experiencing that right now, after the fires? Every rock and blade of grass is meaning more than it did before. Perhaps you'll get some idea of it if you think like this, C.S. Lewis said. Just picture that you've been in a room in which there was a window that looked out on a lovely bay on the sea, of the sea. And on the wall of that room, opposite to the glass window, there was a mirror. And the sea in the mirror was in one sense just the same as the real one, yet at the same time it was somehow different, deeper, more wonderful, more like places in a story you've never heard but you very much want to know. So the difference between the old Narnia and the new Narnia was like that. The new one was a deeper country. Every rock and flower and blade of grass looked like it meant more. I can't describe it better than that, but if you ever get there, you'll know what I mean. It was the unicorn who summed up what everyone was feeling. He stomped his right forefoot on the ground and neighed and then cried, "I've come home at last. This is my real country. I belong here. This is the land I've been looking for all my life, though I never knew it till now." The reason why we love the old Narnia so much is because it sometimes looked a little like this. But let's go now. Come on, it's time to go further up and further in. So I want to end with sharing something about a birthing process. I've seen it in my nighttime dreams and visions that we're living through a birthing time, that we're actually in this birth canal. But what I saw before that was I saw men and women with these huge bellies. And I was going, what is going on in this dream? But men and women had these globes of shining light in their bellies. And I took from that, we are all birthing something. Well, you know how when the baby is in the birth canal, there's no turning back? We have been full-term pregnant for this new world for some time now. And we boomers knew that the age of Aquarius was going to come in our lifetimes. So our visions have ripened. And the baby is going to be born. It's in the birth canal. For God's sake, it's alive and healthy. And we are the beloved community that it's being birthed out to. And we are going to be rejoicing here very shortly. But for now, we've got to be the doulas too. And we have got to help Mother Earth. Bear down. We know you can do this, y'all. We don't mind that you're groaning and yelling. We don't mind. You can be afraid, but come on. Let's get on with it. Let's birth this baby. Because we're all here ready to catch it. I'm telling you, when there's a vibrational match to what is already held in the mind of the infinite, then the music of the spheres is playing. And the artist catches it. The shaman, the mystic, the artist, we're the ones that are catching this baby. In this particular moment, our work is to understand that there's something going on in the cosmos. It's birthing and emerging more life. And this life is always full of love. It's always a beautiful baby. It's powerful and it's the right thing for the next moment, and it wants to emerge in us. So rise and shine, my spiritual warrior friends. This is our time. The emergence is upon us. The growing edge, the birthing is happening. The baby is coming. We're headed into the great unknown. We can't even write about it, said C.S. Lewis. We can hardly even speak of it, but we know it's coming, and we're getting glimpses. Arm in arm, elbow to elbow. Let's enter into this unknown. Further up and further in. Are you ready to go? Yes.
Thank you, Norma. So how many of you know Jen Ambrose?
Yeah.
She's a great human being, and local musician, songwriter. And this is one of her songs. It's called Rise Up Together. You might know it. But the chorus repeats a lot. Rise up, come on, and rise up all people. Rise up together, we must make a stand. Rise up all people, rise up together now. Rise up together, we must make our stand. So feel free to sing along when that comes up. You might want to get up and move again. Jen wrote, it's no more oppression, no more greed, no more war. I think I said no more or something. Anyway, thanks for the song, Jen. Good message. It goes along with what you were saying. Birthing, doing it together,
So
all of us.
we're coming toward the end of our formal time together, and Sophia is going to help me with gathering the circle. So can we gather in a big circle and, be connected, but with the arm's length of social distancing? Feel the energy amongst us. It's a big circle, I know, yeah. You said maybe 2 consecutive circles? Yeah.
Maybe an inner circle and an outer circle, maybe?
Anybody want to join the inner circle?
Yeah, that's good. Kind of like how we would do Sufi dancing, right? That inner circle and the outer.
is so much power in a gesture. We've been told today numerously, and we've heard it through song and through prayer about rising up, haven't we? We've been talking about letting go. We've been talking about visioning and manifesting, right? So at this moment, let's do this. Activate your hands. And let's ask. We asked our whole bodies earlier. Now let's ask our heart. Ask your heart in that language beyond words what your true prayer is for today, for this moment in time, this moment in history. Ask your heart. Feel that subtle language of the heartbeat, sending its message into the palms of your hands, your sacred hands, your work, the hands, the arms, the servitors of the heart. Let's feel that prayer expand as you inhale, 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 and rise and send that prayer out into the universe. And if you feel so called, send that prayer down into the earth. Earthing with sacred intention. Bless the earth. Feel that magnetic connection. Let's rise up. Let's take that energy up through the body like we did before. Feel it rising just like that tree, that whole cycle. You are joining the motion of the universe when you do this gesture. Come back into your heart to that prayer. And let's just inhale deeply. And through the sides, share the prayer with everyone else. Between our hands are synapses of intention that can jump from one person to the other. We don't have to be touching to be connected. You can feel this current between us, binding us, uniting us. Let's send that intention through each heart, through each arm, through each hand, through each synapse. And so it is.
We have one final simple song to sing together that just has one sentence to it. The final joining of our voices and hearts in this commitment.
Norma introduced this song to me, and I'm sorry I forgot the songwriters. I think one is Elise Peters, but it's
Being
pretty
sung
simple.
all over the planet right now. I saw it on YouTube. It's being sung all over the place right now, and so we'll join in our way.
The words are, we the people, we the people, we the people, we the people of the planet come together. We the people come together. That's the first part, and then it goes into a different part. But, yeah, and feel free, like as we sing this, maybe move into fellowship. Even if the song is going on a little bit, just kind of greet each other, and yeah, we'll let that move into hanging out. Blessings, everyone. We the people, we the people, we the people, we the of the planet, come together, we the people, come together, repeat, we the people, We the people. We the people. We the people of the planet come together. We the people come together again. We the people. We the people. Two more of those. We the people. We the people of the planet. Come together. Come together. We the people. We the people. Come together. Love is our currency. Power in unity. Love is our currency. Power in unity. Sing that. Love is our currency. Power in unity. One more of those. Love is our currency. Power and unity. We the people. We the people. We the people. We the people. We the people of the planet come together. We the people come together. Love is our currency, power and unity. Love is our currency, power and unity. We the people, we the people, we the people, we the people of the planet come together. We the people come together. Thank you, everyone.